After Mr. Beard, we have Justin Dooley. Mr. Dooley, good morning. Mr. Dooley, you have a warrant out of Jackson County, Georgia. The state of Georgia wants you, Mr. Dooley. It looks like a violation of probation warrant up there. Madam Jailer, do y'all have the ability to do waivers of extradition on the weekends?
No, sir.
Okay. So, Mr. Dooley, some counties do and some counties don't. So what's going to happen is you're going to come back to first appearance tomorrow on a weekday, and you'll get a chance to, in all likelihood, you'll talk to an attorney. At least this is the way we do it in most counties. Will he speak to an attorney before seeing the judge tomorrow, ma'am, or will the judge explain the waiver process?
The judge will explain the waiver process.
So tomorrow they'll have a waiver of extradition form. The judge will explain the waiver of extradition process. You will then decide if you want to waive extradition or if you want to contest it back to Jackson County, Georgia, and you'll get a chance to ask questions if you have questions. But you'll see the judge at first appearance tomorrow since it's a weekend today. Do you have any questions you want to ask me?
No, sir.
Have a good day, Mr. Dooley. Herman McGriff. Mr. McGriff, good morning. You're here because you've been accused of one count of possession of controlled substance and one count of possession of drug paraphernalia. Mr. McGriff, I've read the complaint. I looked at your criminal history. You do have some recent criminal history, including a charge dismissed 8 months ago. I just saw the arrest, and I looked a little closer into it. I saw it was eventually dismissed. Mr. McGriff, there is probable cause for the new charge. I think you're entitled to a bond, so I'm going to set you a bond, but I want to make sure Mr. Gill and Ms. Simpson don't have any additional information before I do so. Mr. Gill, anything on behalf of the state?
Judge, we would just asking for a reasonable bond that he not be able to possess or consume illegal narcotics.
Thank you. Ms. Simpson, anything, ma'am?
Nothing, Your Honor, just a reasonable bond.
Thank you. Mr. McGriff, I'm going to set you the normal bond I set for these charges for someone who's not on probation and someone that hasn't gotten out of jail very recently. That's $5,000 on the felony, $2,500 on the misdemeanor. Mr. McGriff, your bond today is $7,500. It's cash or surety. Cash or surety means you don't have to come up with all $7,500. You can go through a bondsman if you wish, and you will get to use the phone in just a few minutes, sir, to try to post that bond. You do have a condition of random urinalysis. What that means is if you do post bond, you can be drug tested at any point, and if you fail that drug test, that would violate your bond most likely. Mr. McGriff, do you have any questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. I wish you the best. Next, we have Kelly White. Mr. White, good morning. You're here because of a failure to appear warrant. The underlying charges are stalking or cyber stalking. It appears there was a notice to appear that you signed when you got out of jail. Then you missed the court date according to the court file, and the local judge in Washington County issued a no bond warrant. So you have no bond, at least for the time being, until you see the judge. And those are the original charges. Either you should see the judge in the very near future, or the public defender's office will see you at the jail, one or the other, or both. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Have a good day. If you have a question, I'll try to answer now. I don't want to cut you off. Do you have any questions?
But the reason B is I didn't never get a court date because he just told me to stay away from him, and that's when I left out. And then I was supposed to have to ask him. My brother said I was supposed to have to ask him, did I have a court date? But
let me take a look at it, because when I looked at the file, there was a signed notice with your signature on it for your court date. So I'm going to double check that. So don't say anything to hurt yourself, but give me a second just to look. Because normally with Judge Peel, he doesn't do no bonds unless there's a reason. We have kind of the same approach. So let's just double check it. Make sure I'm not missing something here. 25-130 is the case number. The charge is I already told you about, and there was a no bond warrant issued, and I'm almost positive there's a notice to appear signed presumably by you. It says Kelly R. White. When you got out of jail, it says no contact with the victim. It says you're to be in court August 6th at 9 a.m. That's the notice to appear that the jail has filed with the clerk, and it's got a signature on it that says it's your signature. So that's why you've got no bond, at least for the time being, sir. Have a good day.
I never heard of a court date.
We've got Elizabeth Reno next. Ms. Reno, good morning. You're here. You're the co-defendant to Mr. McGriff. You have the same charges he has. possession of controlled substance without a prescription, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Ms. Reno, there is probable cause for the charges. Ms. Reno, it appears to me that you're still on probation in Calhoun County in case 24-137MM. Is that right, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
So, Ms. Reno, I'm going to set you a bond, but like you've heard me do with other cases, don't try to post it because you're not going to get out even if you do. Since you're on probation, your bond's going to be higher than Mr. McGriff. Your bond's going to be $10,000 on the felony charge, $5,000 on the paraphernalia charge, but you've got no bond for 10 days. I'm going to ask Mr. Gill to notify the Calhoun County authorities. Mr. Gill, again, it's Calhoun County case 24-137MM that Ms. Reno is on probation for. Ms. Reno, you were about to get off. You were eligible for early termination of probation after 9 months. So you're either right at 9 months. You're very close to possibly getting off. The reason I'm telling you that is sometimes that's a factor the judge will consider when they decide what they're going to do with the VOP. So I have no idea what they're going to do. That'll be his or her call. But right now you have no bond for 10 days. We'll see if they're going to violate your probation or try to violate your probation, and whether or not they issue a warrant, and whether or not that warrant has a bond on it. Mr. Reno, do you have any questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good day. Madam Jailer, anything else in Washington County?
Brian, I have a quick question. You said for the felony charge it's going to be $10,000 and the drug equipment possession $5,000, correct?
Yes, and I don't know if I said random urinalysis. Please advise her there is a condition of random urinalysis, just like her co-defendant, because she does have a drug offense. And Mr. Gill always asks for that, and I just failed to put that on the record. Mr. Gill, I'm assuming you're asking for that this time, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Likewise with the co-defendant.
Yeah, I think I said it on the co-defendant. I just don't know if I said it with her. So please advise her, Madam Jailer. Anything else, Madam Jailer?
No, sir. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Mr. Gill and Ms. Simpson, just for record purposes, Calhoun County had State of Florida versus Felicia Carson. Ms. Simpson, Ms. Carson had a charge of leaving the scene of an accident and a charge of DUI. I read the complaint, and there was absolutely no probable cause of a crime that occurred in Calhoun County. I mean, it was very, very brief, almost no information. It was a very poor complaint. I don't know how else to say it. But it appeared that the crime occurred, the charge they're accusing her of occurred in Bay County. So it was an accident in Bay County. The officer got behind her, traveled into Calhoun County where he made the arrest. He took her to the Calhoun County jail because she's a female. Calhoun County female inmates are housed in Liberty County. So Ms. Simpson, what I did next is I contacted before I did that, I looked on the warrant system because my hope was they had at least presented a warrant to a Bay County judge, which is what they should have done, and that's what they did. In our warrant system, Ms. Simpson, was a warrant signed by Judge Smith, and I went and read that complaint, and that complaint was much more thorough than the first complaint. That complaint mentioned a breathalyzer. That complaint mentioned field sobriety exercises. It had a whole lot of information that the officer chose not to put in the Calhoun County complaint. So I have no idea why the officer did one complaint for Calhoun County and a different complaint to submit to the Bay County judge, but there clearly was probable cause for the Bay County charge. So what I did, Ms. Simpson, is I contacted Mr. Gill this morning and said, when you read the Calhoun County case, please let me know, because I'm considering just contacting them and telling them to release her on the Calhoun County case because there's no probable cause if the state is not opposed to that. Mr. Gill simply said he had no opposition to that. He agreed, and that she needed to go deal with Bay County. So then I contacted the Liberty County jail and said, I'm not going to hold her. She needs to get to Bay County as quick as we can. There's no point in waiting another hour for first appearances. Please release her. But before you release her, you need to check with Bay County and see if they want her, because Bay County has signed a warrant. The judge in Bay County signed the warrant about 7:40 last night, and I gave them the Bay County warrant case number. So we don't have to see Ms. Carson. There's clearly no probable cause, but there clearly is probable cause in another county.
Okay.
Okay, just want you to be aware of that.
Thank you.
So, yes, ma'am. Mr. Gill, Ms. Simpson, that's everything that I had on my list. Make sure that I'm not missing anything from either of you. Mr. Gill, anything else from the state?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Gill. Ms. Simpson, anything from the defense?
Nothing further from the fence, Your Honor.
Thank you both. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see y'all this week sometime. Hope y'all have a great week. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our first appearance court for the rural counties. Today, it is 8:28.
All right, let's talk about that. This weekend's rural county first appearance docket had a little bit of everything extradition holds: routine possession charges, a failure to appear, probation complications, and even a case that got dismissed mid-process because the arrest happened in the wrong county. Despite the variety, the judge kept the tone steady, moving each case along with clarity. First up was Justin Dooley, held on a violation of probation warrant out of Jackson County, Georgia. Because it was a weekend, there was no extradition waiver process available that day, so the judge explained he'd be back in court on a weekday to decide whether to waive or fight extradition. The instructions were straightforward: see the judge tomorrow, hear the process, then choose a path. Herman McGriff followed, facing felony possession of a controlled substance and misdemeanor paraphernalia. With no recent release from jail and not being on probation, he got a standard $7,500 total bond, along with random urinalysis as a condition. The judge took a moment to explain bondsman options and how failing a drug test could land him back in custody. Kelly White's case brought a bit of tension. Charged with stalking or cyberstalking, he was in on a no-bond warrant for missing a scheduled court date. White insisted he never got one, but the judge pulled the file and pointed out a signed notice to appear complete with his signature listing the date and time. For now, the no bond stands. Elizabeth Reno, co-defendant to McGriff, faced the same drug charges but with an added twist: she's still on probation in Calhoun County and was close to early termination. Her bond was set higher, $15,000 total, and she was given a 10-day no-bond hold pending possible FOP action. She also got the same random urinalysis condition as McGriff. Then came an unusual turn with Felicia Carson, arrested in Calhoun County for leaving the scene of an accident and DUI. The judge found no probable cause because the alleged crime happened in Bay County. It turned out Bay County already had a valid warrant, complete with a detailed complaint that included sobriety tests and breathalyzer results. Rather than holding her unnecessarily, the judge ordered her release from Calhoun custody so she could be transferred to Bay County without delay, from start to finish. The judge balanced procedural efficiency with clear explanations, ensuring every defendant knew why they were there, what would happen next, and what their options were, even if the news wasn't what they wanted to hear. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.